Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's it going? Game dev time. Song is silly. All right, let's switch to something that makes a little more sense for what we're doing here. All right, so we are working on the autotiler. We did a big swap out for what I would call the underlay, quote unquote, which is like all the just the regular stuff that we're drawing. Like this stuff, like just the actual material that we're trying to draw here. And it looks like the auto tiling for this is mostly fine. Ooh. Actually, that's correct. I don't see any big issues. Oh, what was that? Oh, that's a little weird. Okay, I see some issues. So there's a missing outline when I jam a block right up against a wall like this. So I think I need to tell the deck plate, sidewalls of the deck plate, that if its neighbor... Okay, so it makes that the same material. We have to also make sure that its own adjacent neighbor is not being cut away. Otherwise, we actually need the black outline. All the interesting issues are occurring where the dark gray meets the, like, very dark gray, which I acknowledge is very hard to see on stream. I'm back to standing. I've been listening to a lot of episodes of the stand-up, and I was inspired to stand for this. That's not true. I've, like, hurt my leg in such a way that I feel like is at least aggravated by just sitting all day at work, so I'm back to standing while I work when possible. So we'll see. If I'm moving around weird, it's because I'm trying to, like, stretch out. All right, so we're going to go to Deck X. Deck X. Okay. We're going to look at the positive Y edge. Oh, but not this one. This is going to get so confusing. We have variations of the functions for overlays now. We're treating overlays differently than whatever the opposite of an overlay is. Substrate. I don't know. Substance. Substrate sounds pretty cool, but I'm not going to call it that. All right, so here's the only check we're really doing, which is a problem. So what we need to do is we also need to... Let me put that on the same line. We're going to also say... and not cutaways, bulky with... Actually, it doesn't need to be with. Bulky plus vector 3i dot x. Should I not have, like, shorten the name of this to like just V3I. I feel like that's getting too clever. It just takes up so much space. I've blown up my font size so that it's easier to read on stream. After getting some excellent feedback from Ezra. Not has. But it's making me want to like even more fully just go all in on like squishing the line length as much as possible. All right, so why doesn't this work? Hall key. Cutaways. Am I not doing it like this? Cutaways. Not cutaways. Hey, A the ant. Hey, A. How's it going? Happy Wednesday, A. Having fun. Having fun with that. How's it going? Oh, the Sapphire Starship. Hello as well. Everyone, get in here. You're doing better. Your art block is fading. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that can be hard. That can be really hard. I'm glad it's a lessening. All right, so why is this unhappy with what I'm doing here? Hall key. Oh, hall key dot XYZ for some reason. Okay. So is this better? Well, yeah, it's more clear. I think that's fine. All right, let's see if that fixes the missing outline. The case of the missing outline. Let's see if it's solved. I feel like we're playing that case out over and over and over again all day, every day. But let's see. Let's see what we got here. Ew. The F was that? Oh, there's... So that works, but there's a side effect. So you'll notice that there's like this uninterrupted outline as we go along here. I was trying to fix the fact that when I pressed the block up against the wall, the outline was going away, like it is on the right side here. The problem is, if you follow this outline along, you see it just continues to here. And that I do not want. So I also need to check... I also need to check the status of the bulk, the neighboring bulk. All right, I have an idea. Which is to say, or not cutaways, hall key, dot XYZ plus vector 3i dot XZ has any. Hey, Fusionist, how's it going? What have you been up to? Sapphire, I start at the perfect time for you. You get home from work, everything's situated, then I start streaming. Awesome. Love that. What are you working on today? Or are you just relaxing? I'm broken, so I work and then I stop working so that I can work. And then I stop working again so I can work more. Horrible. Hey, Wobble Dobsy. Cool letters, numbers. Thanks. I aim for the best letters and numbers. Yeah, what have you been up to, Fusionist? I I got my next game jam on the calendar, I think. I think I'm going to do the solo dev Halloween jam next weekend. Excited. I think it might be my last jam for the year. So that'll be fun. How's everyone doing? You're also working? You're doing post-jam stuff? Cool, cool. Which jam is that? Oh, no worries. It's Practicals Jam. Solo development. Practical NPCs. Their community. Solo development Halloween Jam number 9. It's solo development jam number 9, not Halloween jam number 9, but this will be fun. They allow pre-made assets. So, and I'm going to be using Mac's game template for Godot. So I'm just looking for like a super chill experience. How was your Ludum conflicting event? Oh, it was good. It was good. It was the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival, which is 3 days of free music in the park here. And it is incredible. It's the best event we do every year. The weather is guaranteed to be perfect the whole weekend. Generally by divine intervention and just smart scheduling. Some combination of those two things. Did you do Ludum Dare? If you have a Ludum Dare 58, it's 58, right? What Ludum Dare are we on now? If you did a Ludum Dare game, I'd love to check it out. Yeah, you did it? Sick. Is that what you're doing post-jam stuff on? Sapphire, you got a couple things you need to do. Then you may be continuing trying to get artwork figured out. Kind of struggling to start it. For sure, for sure. What helped me... I don't know what you're doing as far as 3D or 2D or like pixel art or like vector art or just rasterized high-res art. Like, but what I always do is I pick the viewport resolution that I'm going to use, which is usually either 360p or 180p, depending. I pick that viewport and I just start seeing how things scale. Like I start from the game screen. Like I think a good place to start is to mock up a game screen at some phase. Just kind of think about how you would like the game to look when someone's actually playing it and like work your way backwards. I think that's an interesting way to start. Fusionist, your focus right now is your Ludum Dare post jam. You'll have a V2 by the end of the week, so you could wait until then. Yeah, post in the Discord when you're ready. I would love to play it. I have to do some post jam for my last game jam for Bare Necessities because I know if I wait until next weekend, I'm never going to touch it again. Like, I feel like the window of time to do post jam for a game jam game is the time until the next jam. That's how long I have to do post jam. And I want to do some UI usability stuff, and I want to record a song. And maybe some light sound effects. I'm going to try to do some of that this weekend. But I need to get on it. Or yeah, it's just not going to happen. Yeah, it's basically like that. Yeah, for sure. Spell card exile. Sick. Let me at least look at it. Ooh. I don't understand what's happening, but it looks super cool. It's an arena bullet hell with a twist. Your attacks are the consumable spell cards in your collection. Okay. Super cool. Yeah. Yeah, let me know when you got V2 up. I would love to play it. Looks super, super sick. I love the skull and the, I don't know, cage. that you're like fighting in. Super great. Super interesting. Yeah, it's a really great aesthetic. I agree. Wobble Dovesy. All right, so we have this or. So either, well, so it's like if this is true, or this is true. This isn't right, but I want to see the way in which it's not right. Yeah, already problem. Oh, and it doesn't even address. Wait, so I did this and it's not even addressing the problem here. That's curious. Oh, that's annoying. Why doesn't that have the effect we want? Well, I understand why it doesn't have that, but how do we get the effect that we want? I want an outline here, but no outline here. So if it's a different material, or if it's the same material, well, if it's the same material, it should be fine. If it's a different material, we always get... Okay, so that the first line is correct. The second two lines are a problem. The first one is mostly, or this one is mostly correct. We were looking for a full deck cutaway of the same floor that we're on. So we already know that this is true. So this is only in the case where the hull types are the same, or the hull types match. But the problem is this cutaway thing. Does it just need to be nested? Maybe this needs to be an and. That's usually how it goes, right? If your conditional's not working out, just flip the condition from or to and, or vice versa. That's usually it. What the heck is happening when I do this? For just the frame that I'm selecting this, it like absolutely goes crazy. And this doesn't fix the problem still. What the heck? X plus 1, Z plus 1. The heck does the has any do for us anyway? Extent is not equal to 0. Yeah, that's pretty correct actually. Maybe the knot. Maybe it's the knot. What if there's nothing in cutaways? That would definitely cause a problem. Okay, yeah, big problem there. And I still am not fixing this. This one bottom left corner outline is driving me insane. Why is it not? So there's a cutaway here. There's a half wall cutaway. It doesn't really matter. This should affect any cutaway. We should get rid of the outline. Should we really just check to see if there's a Z tile on the, like a bulk Z tile? Is that better? Okay. It's like I could try to think this through super clearly, or I could just attempt to do things. This didn't do anything. Oh, okay. All right, we mostly solved. We solved that. We solved this issue. But we solved the left thing here, but there's something here happening at the edge. So this is not working out. So it's introducing a line here, which is unfortunate. How do I get rid of this? Let's look to see if there are any other situations where this is coming up. So it's just happening at the edge here. I don't think there's a cutaway occurring, but maybe there is. Sapphire, wish you could help figure it out, but having absolutely no familiarity with the code or really having any experience with autotiler is kind of hard to help. No, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'm pretty familiar with how to solve this kind of problem. I'm just verbalizing my process, which is a risk of streaming. You just start talking your way out loud through things. To the extent that I was at the beach like a while ago by myself, just sitting at the beach, just hanging out, I found myself just talking to myself out loud. I was like, who the fuck am I talking to? Oh my god. Nyx subscribing at tier 1. 5 months already. That's incredible. Yeah, time flies. How are you doing, Nyx? Hey, the ant, you got your hair dyed? Oh, sick. What color? You did that between the time you said hi 20 minutes ago and now? Hey, you need to talk to someone sane every once in a while. Why can't it be yourself? That begs the question as to whether I'm sane. But yeah, it's definitely a problem nowadays with like work from home and everything. Like I can go a whole day without talking to anyone. Like I'm not counting like G-chat messages and emails and stuff, but like I probably go most of my working days with not actually without having like a phone conversation or an in-person conversation with anyone I work with. And that can be tough for sure. I think I'm well suited to it. All right, so this has anything. I think there's another way to ask this question that's less prone to error. I think we can do it with a hull check. I think what we need to do is we need to check. We need to say hulls dot contains key Hall key xyz plus vector3i dot xz. So we want to know if there's a hall key there. Maybe this is an OR. Pink? Nice. Nice, Ant. That's cool. Nix, you work today? All right. That's an improvement for you, right? Because you haven't been able to work recently. So that's cool. How was that? Wobble Dobsy? You mean you might not even be real? You might all be bots? Oh no. Sapphire, you're getting tired of dealing with people all day. You work at a gas station. Ooh, yeah. I spent a decade in the service industry, mostly at coffee shops. I served my time. I never want to do that ever again. Nix, yeah, you haven't worked for like, what, 3 or 4 weeks now? You're slowly going back and picking up work again? Oh, good. I mean, kind of good. I know it can be crazy to have nothing to do for long periods of time like that. Oh my god. Tomato salad. Raid alert, everyone. Raid alert. How's it going, Tomato? Alright, well this... Hell, nope, this did nothing. Alright. Welcome in. How was the stream? How's it going, everybody? Oh, spotted some more auto-tiling issues. This is just the auto-tiler bug hunt hour, I guess. Cooler SK. Tomato salad. How's everyone? How's it going this Wednesday, this fine Wednesday? Sapphire, you're working on setting up your own business? Really hoping we'll get you out of the gas station. That'd be great. That'd be great. All right, so it's not this. Oh, it needs to be this with w equals int tile.layers.bulk z. That's really what we're concerned about. Parentheses. Whole key.xyz plus vector 3. Oh. Wait. Whole key. Plus xyz with w equals layer. Okay. That might help. That might have been the problem. You're awake. Hey, Arneo. Made a salad. Thanks. Stream was awesome and stable. Ooh. 3 connects last time you streamed? Jeez. You did make some nice progress on the prototype for a potential next side project. Nice, nice. How's your project going? It's okay. It's okay. We did a big refactor of our autotiler yesterday, and we're just kind of hunting down some bugs. Nix, you can already see it, recreating the whole known universe in the autotiler in Godot, episode 512. Look, if you want to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe, okay? Nuts. This is not doing anything. Oh, it's making it worse. Oh, it's making it so much worse. That made it so much worse. But yeah, thanks for the raid. If you gotta run, no worries. Raiders, we're Digital Iliad. We're working on an FTL-like in Godot. FTL-like is like a Star Trek style spaceship management game. We're doing it in a pretty I would say esoteric, kind of isometric 2D style, where we have these 3D game worlds and we're rendering it in 2D, in an isometric 2D. So to achieve that, we've written this kind of editor and autotiler and a cutaway system, all these different things to solve the visibility problem of rendering stuff this way. And it's buggy, so we're refining the autotiler rules. Because an autotiler is only as good as its rules. Technically, isn't every game rendered in 2D? Get out. All right, so we have a number. So I'm making this actively worse here. This holes contains key thing. I thought this was sneaky. I thought this was neat. So this is the rule for if we can get rid of the lower outline. We can get rid of the lower outline if our hull types match between the floor and the wall below it. But if there is a cutaway. Hold on a second. If there isn't a cutaway, we wouldn't even draw this. Oh, so this line is totally useless, so let's just get rid of it. So what we need to do is we need to think of some exceptions and how to express those exceptions. Technically, your eyes render the world in 2D. Thanks for sticking around, Sapphire. Nix 506. Ooh, 506. Is that our mod count? It's pretty good. Any reason why you're using bulk Z while the other part is XZ? You don't know what any of this means. Bulk Z is the top of the wall. So I only really care. I honestly don't need to check for a particular wall, but the thing is, I don't think I have the information to just check a block. I don't think I passed that in. So we have the hull data for the individual faces, so it's easier to just read that. And what I'm interested in is the Z face of the wall in front and below. So if there's one of those... So actually what we want is not hull.contains key. That's the code line. Oh, yeah. No, so this... Bulk Z is good here. So like bulk X... Bulk X means like, is there a wall below us facing the same direction as this? And then this is like, is there a wall below and in front of us that has like a top face that we would be, you know, at a 90-degree angle with? Because we want to know if we need to render the outline between us, where we join with that floor plate. This is kind of blown out. Yeah, look at this waveform. I don't know whose fault it is, but why is everyone just... Does everyone record their music like that? Just fully blown out on the waveform. Okay, now we're listening to 576 by Harris Heller. Because there are no coincidences. All right, so I think not. I think we're interested if there isn't. But if there is, so we should say and not. So if there is a wall plate here, this is where the or comes in. So if there is a wall below and in front of us, but it's being cut away, then we can omit the outline. Maybe this is it? Hey, the ant. Fun fact, our eyes actually take in light upside down, but our brains know how to flip it. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. I've heard that if you wear goggles that do that flip again, so if you wear goggles or glasses or something like that, that flips everything upside down, after a few days, your brain will flip it again. So after a few days of doing that, you'll wake up one day and open your eyes and everything will be back to normal again because your brain is like, guess we doing it upside down now. Just pretty cool. It's pretty cool that the world, that your brain has some concept of up to the extent that it can self-correct for that. That's crazy. Because like the first time you do it, just the fact that we take in the data upside down and flip it, that's like whatever. It's definitely more advantageous than the opposite, right? But the fact that your brain then knows if you've tried to trick it and flipped it again and corrects for it, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know about that, Arneo. Oh, Starship, you immediately quoted the same thing as me, which is fascinating. And I don't read chat, so I didn't see it. I just related the anecdote as my own. Nix, it makes sense. Same thing kind of happens when you learn how to balance yourself on a bike. When you're learning how to. It's a little different than that. But yeah, I get what you mean. Hey, over on YouTube, how's it going? I see you in the chat. How are you doing? All right, I think I fixed it. I think we came up with a combination of conditions. I'm looking, I'm seeing. I want to make sure that this thing is actually correct here. All right, that thing is fixed. Here's something that I noticed while we were well, for one thing, let's port this change to the other side. Oh, and then here's this super annoying thing. I have to port this multiple times. So, because we split the overlay from the underlay, quote unquote, underlay. We actually need to merge the change here, which is why we should probably have some kind of function. So this is a contains key and a mask. So I think what we do is we get rid of this comparison. So that it matches. We switch this to a contains key. I really hate that we're having to support multiple auto-tiling rules. And then we want to add this mask contains thing. We'll add that to the bottom and just hope that that kind of works. We're not going to test that. All right, now we got to do the same thing here. And we got to flip all of the axes. You have botched depth perception. What is that like? Sapphire, you didn't realize I streamed on YouTube as well? Oh, thanks for going over there and subbing. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's in 4K. It's where all the VODs go. So it's like we might as well live stream there. Switch that to YZ. Switch this to YZ. That should be it for that. Then copy this. Excuse me. I was lazy this morning and I went to like a local little deli and like got a coffee and like a bagel. Coffee was like a latte. It was not good. Should have just made a coffee at home. Burned by my laziness. Next, just create one single massive auto-tiling rule. Oh yeah, definitely. Just don't auto-tile. By botched, you would just mean it's a bit worse. Oh, okay. You have a hard time telling where your hair is if it's covering your eye. Oh, so you reach for it and you reach wrongly. That's interesting. I imagine that doesn't matter if like much if you're like on a screen most of the time, right? Ooh, nice. You slept until like 2 p.m. today? Hell yeah, Nix. Sapphire, now you know where the VODs are. You have 58 episodes to binge watch. I would not recommend that. Someone commented on episode 0 on the YouTube, and they were like, is it worth watching this from the beginning? And I just replied back, and I was like, no. Are you crazy? The only thing you would glean... There are only 2 things you could glean from watching the old VODs of this series. One is how little I get done on any given day. And 2, how much work gets redone. Like, how much game dev is like, you pursue a line, and then you go back, and then you pursue a different line, and then you go back, and then maybe you pursue that first line again, and you get a little farther, and then you go back, and it's like pathfinding. It's like A-star. It's like producing a game is like actually A-star pathfinding your way to the finish line, right? Like you're exploring a lot of the path. You can weight as in like heaviness. You can weight it a certain way and like try to minimize the amount of additional searching you're doing, but like I know I complained about how cold it was yesterday. I've already gotten used to it, and now I'm like overheating in my like sweatshirt, even though the temperature is exactly the same in here. Episode 0, I'm starting to make an auto-tiler. Episode 0 is crazy. Just like flip through that to see how like jank everything was in episode 0. It's crazy. Hey, the ant, for you, you just have a harder time telling if something is directly in your eye or not. Oh, okay. So when am I making a 1,204-hour long full episode? Never. YouTube will just straight up end your recording after 12 hours. So the Ludum Dare that I was doing like multiple like 12-hour streams, the VODs just end at 12 hours. So you will never see longer than a 12-hour VOD from me. And I try not to do that anymore. Even so. All right, let's see if that works. What we just tried here. All right, looking good, looking good. Looking reasonable. Ooh. Okay, I've noticed something which is concerning. Okay, well, that's not good. That's such a... This is a weird edge case, but it's not good. We need one more condition here. How the heck is this getting through? This shouldn't be possible. Oh, it's the ore. Okay. Should have tested that a little more thoroughly before I copied it around everywhere, huh? You thought there were like longer streams than 12 hours, or is that because they're not recordings? You're unfamiliar with YouTube. I don't know. But if you live stream to YouTube for more than 12 hours, it just, as far as I can tell, it just cuts it off around the 12-hour mark. That was my experience. I think you can upload recordings that are longer than 12 hours, but I don't know if you can live stream for longer than 12 hours. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me because, like, I feel like people would want to do, like, marathon streams and stuff, but you think it's actually on the corner? If you ever want to stream really long, just do multiple streams on YouTube. Yeah, I don't want to, but that would probably work. I think it's actually on the corner, not the edge. I think what's actually happening here is it's this or. So it's saying and not, so it's this and this or this, and this needs to be nested. So it needs to say this. It needs to be this or this parenthetically here. I think that's what it needs to be. Let's see if that fixes it. 12 hours is already really long. It's pretty unhealthy too. Oh, I'm sure it's unhealthy. I mean, you know me. Most of my streams are like 3 hours long. 2 if I'm not feeling it or I've got to run or something like that, you know. During a jam, my max during a jam now is around 8 hours. I try not to stream for more than 8 hours at a time during a game jam. 6 to 8 hours is probably what I like to do during a jam, and then 3 hours is what I do otherwise. Honestly, if I had like no day job, let's say I was just doing game dev full time, I think I would still limit these episodes to about 4 hours. And the only difference is I think maybe I'd do 2 episodes a day. Like maybe I'd do 1 episode in the morning and then 1 episode in the afternoon or something like that. That's probably what I would do if I had free reign. I probably wouldn't do like a full 8-hour stream. That doesn't feel very sustainable or healthy to me. All right, did I fix this weird error? Okay, kind of. Okay, cool. There's something we're going wrong with the vertical outlines, but we're still working on these horizontal ones here. But I see a problem with the vertical outline. Again, this is like a terrible thing to work on because it's almost impossible to see on the stream what's happening. It's like really hard. I should probably do something. I should probably have like a debugger view or something I can flip to that just like makes it a lot easier to see what's happening. But yeah, we just need to nest that condition. So it needs to be this, like this. Hey, Rhiannon Journey, how's it going? You said the bug was an edge case, so you said it was a corner case. Oh, okay. That's funny. YouTube just doesn't save streams as VODs if they're over 12 hours. What happened to me is it just cut the VOD at 12 hours. So the VOD just abruptly ends after like 11 hours and 59 minutes or something like that. Somewhere around the 12-hour mark, it just ends the VOD. That's what happened to me. Nix, your comment about having one just giant auto-tiling rule, I know that was like made in jest, but it's like, it's an interesting thing to think about. Because like rules have a size. All rules have a scope beyond which they like break down. This is why like there is no unified theory of everything, right? Because we have a set of rules that govern like gravity. We have a set of rules that govern the very large, like gravity. We have a set of rules that govern the very small, like quantum mechanics. There is no unified theory of quantum gravity because no one can find a rule that's like the right size for both the big and the small. And people have talked about that in philosophy a lot. There's the same search for like a unified rule of everything outside of, quantum gravity. And John Searle talked about it, and he posited that there aren't rules that are the right size, or we haven't discovered them if they are. So I think that's just kind of interesting. Apropos of nothing. You were being semi-serious. I know. So I took you semi-seriously. Rhiannon. Oh, the Ant, thank you for the hydrate. Rhiannon Journey. It was going okay until you just spilled the dog water bowl all over the floor. Oh no. Oh no. Not the dog water bowl. My partner's like, when we get a dog, we're going to teach it to like clean up after itself. Because you can always see the dog that like drinks the water out of a bowl. And then next to the bowl, there will be a towel. And it will just like dab its face on the towel just to dry up. And you train it to do those two actions, one after the other. And it's so funny. Twitch being weird, you're here now. Welcome to the YouTube side, the Ant. Thanks for pumping up my stats over there. Nobody seems to be getting any impressions of the stream this morning on YouTube, so appreciate that. It's very much a crapshoot. I find some YouTube streams, like a dozen people are watching it, which is crazy. And then some days, like there's no one. But I appreciate that. I appreciate the stat boosting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that bell. Sorry, I'm done. Rhiannon Journey. You got here just in time for the fun physics talk. You love theories of quantum gravity. You're trying to teach your dog to pick up toys after themselves. Oh, that's so cute. To like clean up their toys in like the toy bin. Be amazing. All right, did I actually do the thing or did I get distracted? Looks like I did the thing. All right, one set of rules. Fixed. Now we have another one that I need to think about. Nix, reminds you of your cat Luna, who loves to push her head beneath the plastic that the water and the food bowl are on and knock everything over when she's hungry, which is almost all the time. That's so funny. Yeah, cats are incredibly disruptive. Little chaotic beings. All right, so there remains. Well, let's do a bigger test actually. It still looks broken when we're in some of these states. Wonder if there's a way to fix that. I would like to be able to get the vertical outline back for the decking. You can see it's missing here, and it causes a weird look. I would love to get it back. I feel like there was a reason we did that, and I don't remember what the reason was. All right, how are we looking? Okay. Whoa. Huh. There's some missing ones. It's hard to see, but there's definitely some missing ones. I see one. That would be the positive X and Y edges for the Y and X faces, respectively. So there's one. There's definitely one there. That's the only one I see, which is good. It's very pervasive, this missing outline, though. I'm seeing it in a number of places. How are doors doing? Oh, wait, what if I do this? What if we do the cut through? What does the cut through look like? Oh, interesting. So it has something to do with being up against a wall. Being up against a wall is removing... Oh. Interesting. All right. I see one area that we can start with, and that's the area I'm going to start with, which is, this is the X face. This is the positive... This is the left edge of the X face. All right, which one is that? Where's the left? Okay, so that's X plus 2. So there's a problem with the X plus 2 outline when it's up against a wall. This negative X, negative Y, positive Y thing is confusing. It's actually not the negative X edge in this case. Oh, no, it is. I don't know. This is why I don't comment. These comments are wrong. I think of it in terms of the offset to the Atlas chords, which here it's X plus 1, X plus 2, Y plus 1, Y plus 2. Never comment any code, because the comment either is wrong when you write it or it becomes wrong over time. Actually, I guess so. An okay time to write a comment on a piece of code is maybe when you're done writing the code. It's maybe when the code is never changing ever again. Maybe then it's an okay time to comment the code. All right, so what we were interested in is the X plus 2. Oh yeah, this is really minimal. Let's go up here. So we want X plus 2. X plus 2 has so little going on here. I'm going to rewrite this a little bit here. This and should be tied to this because these are dependent on each other. And then on the next line, we'll talk about this one. Sapphire. That's when you don't need the comments anymore. So just never bother with comments. Just takes up dev time. No, I have some respect for, like, when I'm done with the autotiler, when the autotiler is done and finished and we're done working on it, I am tempted to go through and comment it a little bit, because the problem is the comments are for like 6 months from now or a year from now when I come back and I need to make a change to the code base and I don't remember how any of it works. That's when a code comment is helpful. Is when you look at a thing, like if your function has like an implicit, like if your function has implicit assumptions about the state of something going into it or something like that, like if there's a caveat of like you should really only pass positive integers into this or something like that, like, I mean, for one thing, the parameter should just be a uint then, but like that's maybe a bad example, but like anytime you've got if you're either done working on if you're done working on something, I can kind of agree that maybe it's a good idea. /s, I assume that was sarcasm. /s for sarcasm. I want to put this way up here. I don't like this down here, down there. You're quite a sarcastic person. It's a survival mechanism for being in the service industry, as I find. If you aren't already sarcastic, you develop it pretty quickly. So I get it. You have to deal with people all day. Really, one of the only survival mechanisms is to become deeply sarcastic. It's pretty hard to pass on sarcasm in text form, though. Yeah, that's true. That can make it funnier, but yeah. Also, it can cause problems. Here, we assume positive intent from people. That's kind of the only survival mechanism that I have for being on the internet, is to just assume positive intent. Okay, so we're looking at x plus 2. X plus 2 says this whole thing about, like, if there is a y face, if there's a deck at our y face, then we're all good. Then we do this xy thing, which means we're looking at a diagonal. So if there is a face here, or there's a diagonal face, that, like, what? Huh? You know, this probably needs to... So diagonal, so one in front of us. If there's a face in front of us like that, then we're totally done. So we must need to have like a cutaway thing. We need to say, we need to scrutinize the cutaway state of these things in front of us, I think. Oh, I'm also working on the wrong level. Okay. I'm working on the floor plate, the deck plate, when I'm supposed to be working on the wall, aka the bulk. Well, that's a mistake. Let me just make sure I didn't break anything just now. Seemingly no. So this problem affects the wall. That's a problem. Okay, whatever. Let's look over here. This also feels super wrong. I think this or should be... I deeply question this auto-tiling rule. I'm going to move it up. We're going to have to go through a whole nother round of these. A whole nother round of these checks when we get to the overlays. So I'm just changing all this shit. Why is this an and or here and it was an or and above? Oh, God. Your coworkers are also very sarcastic. Yep. Decade plus in the customer service industry over here. I am well aware of the sarcasm, the deeply sarcastic nature of veterans of that area, of that field. It becomes very hard to hang if you're not one of those people, one of those kinds of people. All right, so let's go down to the bulk because this problem is in the bulk. It's in the wall. X plus 2. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So we got the same problem, essentially. Not the same problem, but we have the same conditional statement, which feels wrong. I would love to fix this here and then go back and try to fix it in the floor plate. Man, I forgot how tiring it is to just stand for hours at a time. Random Journey, your friend group is deeply sarcastic. He uses a lot of dark humor around your shared traumas. That can be nice. That can be nice when everyone's, you know, in on it. In on the joke, I guess. All right, so what we're saying here is if there is a face in front of us and there is a face diagonally in front of us, or there's a face. So if there's a face in front of us or a face diagonally in front of us, then we can get rid of this outline. But however, if any of that is getting cut away, then that becomes a problem. So we need to consult the cutaways. So we need to have an and here. We can say cutaways. We can say not cutaways key plus vector 3i dot y dot has any key dot xyz. Actually, do we need to nest this at all? I think because it's just 2, we don't actually need to nest any of this. Actually, we do want to nest it. Or at least we want to nest the first one. Or the second one, I'm sorry. p.xyz plus vector 3i dot xy dot is any. You work remotely, you keep it very light and non-personal at work. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're telling me. I've mentioned this before, but I'm like, I do like HR backend stuff. So I'm not very publicly facing, but there is an extent to which I am. And, you know, I have to be that kind of person when I'm working. I have to be an HR person, right? I have to be a certain way. Which actually was quite an adjustment coming from what I was doing before. I've figured it out to an extent. I've learned when not to reply to an email because I can tell that I'm tilted by the email and stuff like that. I know when to take a breath, to pause. And that's been a super important survival mechanism for me at work. Oops. Okay, that's how that looks. All right, let's see if we fix this. I know we're like kind of plodding along here. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do the work. I'm just kind of tired this week. I know I say that like every week, but for some reason this week is especially tiring. Oops. Oopsies. Uh-oh. We broke something. Oh, but we also kind of fixed something. Alright, so we're having a boundary problem here. Otherwise, it looks like we fixed it, but let's fix this boundary problem. Ray, in a journey, that was a big skill for you to learn. Now being under better management doesn't happen as often, which is nice. Oh, that's good. You're not like pushed. You're not getting pushed around. Or your buttons aren't being pressed, as they say, as much, which is good. I would love a world where I'm doing solo game development full time and I never have to deal with anyone ever again professionally like that. That would be such a world. Not really a world that we live in, but it would be quite a world. All right, where do I think the problem is? Do I think the problem is just that I'm not nesting this correctly? I don't think that's true. Like, watch, I add these parentheses. Oh, these do something. Okay, let's see. Let us see if that has an impact. I don't think so, because I don't think that's where the problem is arising, but let's just check just to be sure. Let's just eliminate possibilities here. Yeah, that was not it. Okay. And I correctly identified that it doesn't matter. Although I might as well keep this structure just so that if we change the ordering, we don't change the behavior. So the problem... So what we're saying is hull doesn't contain this. But hull does contain this. As any. So if there is a hull here, and there are no cutaways, and there isn't a hull here, and there are no cutaways, the problem is a boundary issue, which means that either But this is an or. Oh, we are saying and the hull type equals the same. Do we need to say that? No. Rhiannon Journey, that was the world AI promised us, and instead it's given us the current hellscape. Oh, well, I don't think AI is done with us yet. I don't think AI has even begun to truly transform the workplace to anywhere close to the degree that it will. But yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I was listening to an episode of the stand-up today that was an old one, but they were talking about how, like, what's going to be the effect of everyone just being so used to just talking to this AI, which is just so sycophantic. How is that going to prepare you to, like, actually have conversations and disagreements with, like, other people? It's probably going to make us worse at communication, right? Which is scary because we're already pretty bad at communicating. Or being able to, like, hold space for people with differing opinions. Like, we're already bad at doing that, and, like, how much worse is this gonna... I don't need this stream to become Dave continues to talk about AI, but, you know, to the extent that it's relevant, I'm always happy to dig in. I feel like we could easily spend all of our time doing that and not get anything done. Hulls and hull and... So I don't totally understand what's happening here. Which is typical for me. We're having a boundary problem where it's misbehaving at the edge of the used space. So, like, if I do this and I, like, build a spot, we're getting the wrong behavior at the boundary, which you can tell because if I'm in here, you see this striped line situation. But as soon as I go out here, it fixes itself, which means that we're getting poor behavior. We're getting poor behavior. Like, if I draw another wall here, it should be fine. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. No, maybe there's a problem here. Huh. Glad I tested that. Okay, so there's something else going on here. There's a cutaway problem. Is it the cut? It's not the cut. Oh, maybe it is the cutaway. Interesting, interesting. Maybe the problem is this line. Arneo, you feel like talking to an LLM orally is just not going to catch on. Most people still seem to prefer text, even when it's possible to have AI voices. I don't know if that's true. Do you mean response? Because I feel like people like to talk to the AI. I don't know if people like the AI to talk back. Because, like, cursor, the whole idea of, like, cursor, right, is that you can, like, verbally prompt. You can be like, this has been dictated but not read. All right, that was it. Okay, I understand. I understand what I did wrong. And I fixed it. You love to see it. All right, did I fix this part too? What was I actually checking? What was I trying to fix? All right, I think this is working now. It looks good. Let's do this. Let's do the clever thing and try to, like, copy this section down. That work? That kind of worked. I don't have my overlays, so I can't like see what I'm doing.
I don't know what y'all think, but I think that's pretty.
All right, what do we got going on here? Oh, this is weird. This seems like a cutaway problem more than anything else. Why is the cutaway behaving like this? That's a separate problem. Let's not worry about the cutaway right now. The auto tiling looks right, though. I don't understand what's going on here. Why is that so weird? I don't like that. Now I feel the need to test that again. Rhiannon Journey, ship it. Lines on the outside hull are like half lines on the wall sections or something. Yeah, it was doing this thing where it was drawing these vertical lines where it shouldn't. I know, I shouldn't work on this on stream. It's impossible to tell what I'm doing. I'm like, do you see this small point of dark gray on medium tone gray where there should be a darker gray outline? And it's not there, and people are like, no. And I'm like, well, it should be there. And I don't see it. And I'm mad as hell. I'm a little concerned that I'm going to hand draw this out and the cutaway is going to behave correctly. And then I'm left wondering why the copy-pasted cutaway didn't work. But the hand-drawn cutaway is just fine. That's exactly what happened here, and now I'm very concerned. Okay, well, we fixed it for one side. Let's fix it for the other side. And I would like to attempt to transfer this fix to the deck plate so that we can get the outline back on the, when we extend. Right now, there's like a convex piece that doesn't have an outline on it, which is annoying. But I know I did it on purpose. Arneo, yeah, you guess you meant AI voices talking back to us. No, I agree. I don't think people like that. Things like Alexas really freak you out. You can't ever see them becoming normal, but that might just be me. Yeah, my problem is not the voice talking to me. Like, if I could get Hal to talk to me all the time, telling me shit like, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that. I'm like trying to move a file and it's like, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that. This file is open somewhere. I would love that. That would be too funny. I would love Hal just to talk to me. My problem is the fact that it's always listening to you, right? With those Alexas and stuff like that. Sapphire, you might not completely be able to tell what's going on. You're still enjoying being here. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I don't have a lot else to work on that's interesting. The only other thing I think we need to do right now is like work on the tile atlas, which we might do after this little auto tile thing, or we'll do that tomorrow. We'll see. Oh, Rhiannon, you say I still make it enjoyable. The best is when I try to point from my limited camera frame. That is really hard to do. It is really hard to do. I appreciate you're noticing that. All right, so we're going to get rid of that. We don't need this. All right, and now we're going to extend this down. Well, hold on. We can extend this part down. I'm not excited about auto tiling the overlays because we are trying to copy over a lot of the behavior, but like this is what is going on here. I think it's supposed to be like this. Or this and not this and this. Why does the parenthesis not do anything here? Oh, yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, to the Y side now. This thing. Nix, that's why you need to run it localhost, I guess. I'm not terribly enthused about the idea of like AI personal assistants. Wait, why does the parenthesis do it? Oh. Why is there no mask contains check here? That's a problem. I hope that's right. So I thought I renamed this. Hull key. Could probably call it Hull Coords, but hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. Arneo, you actually came to this series to learn Godot? Oh no. Uh-oh. You ended up not understanding any of the stuff that's done here. You're just hanging out at this point. Yeah, I am at the point that we are at. We're using Godot very tangentially. If you actually want to learn how to use Godot, I think the game jam streams that I do are probably way better, because when we're doing a game jam, we're at least doing everything in Godot. But yeah, this project is like, I didn't know that this is what the direction the project was going to go. I didn't know we were going to do this like a language switch until like episode 90 or something like that, 80, 90, something like that. By then it was, this is just the making an FTL like in Godot. And like arguably we are still in Godot. But yeah, my decision to like my decision to split the simulation layer off in such a way that's like almost engine agnostic is cool. But yeah, it's confusing. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, we're gonna do it. We're not this weekend, but next weekend we're gonna do a game jam. And I'm trying to do a game jam I'm doing a game jam that allows for pre-made art assets. So I'm hoping it'll be a game jam where all of my time is spent on gameplay programming and design. I'm tired of just making a game jam game. that is not fun, but exists. Like up until this point, my challenge is usually just do the implementation. Like Bare Necessities was like, I was like, I really want to do cool art. I want to increase my art skills. And I did. And we got second place. And that was super cool. But the game is kind of shit. Because I spent no time playtesting or really designing the experience at all. All the time was spent implementing art. So I want to do a game jam like Mini Delivery where we just use pre-made assets, and so all the time can be spent on design and playtesting and gameplay programming. That should be a lot more interesting from a Godot standpoint. And that'll be next weekend, the 24th through the 27th. Will you see Barrington come back? No, Bernard. We got second place in art, specifically. Which felt good, to an extent. Felt like we managed to salvage something. Making an FTL-like in Godot is a good hook, though. You're glad it baited you in. Yeah, I love that. I'm glad that it worked, too. Some people have said I should explain what an FTL-like is in the description, but I was like, nah. Rhiannon, you didn't realize I got second place either. In art. In art specifically. Yeah, with programmer art. And specifically in the one dev army category. So in the category of people that made it by themselves. So a lot of caveats. But yeah, I'm proud of that at least. Because that was what we ostensibly wanted to do. But I kind of want to move past that to the point where we have enough time that we can actually do game design and gameplay programming and actually trying to do something. Oh, you had a nice long weekend, Diginanigans? It was, it was Canadian Thanksgiving. Okay. Nice long weekend, but you're back at work today? Nice. That sounds like a great weekend. Oh shit, it's my favorite song. Oh, we missed one. I got to extend this function. Rhiannon, caveats aside, still something to be proud of. Making Bernard caked up might have helped a bit. That's hilarious. I do want to do a little post-jam. I'm going to be working on that on the weekend. I'm going to work on a post-jam version. Okay, so this is the mask equals null branch, which means all we care about is this. Will any of the systems transfer back into the main game? You think you remember saying something about spinning out the system for drawing pathing for Reese or something? That is the first system I've contributed to our template. So we have made a contribution to our jam game template, which I think is going to be an isometric jam game template, generally speaking. So yeah, we did carry something forward, which was that little system that lets you draw pathfinding networks. I'm actually going to be using someone else's game jam template for the next jam next week, by this guy named Mac. It's Mac's Godot game jam template. So I'm going to be interested in trying that. I'm going to kind of use it to see what kind of stuff I would like to templatize further. Because, yeah, unfortunately, none of the code from this project is really usable in a game jam. At least not until, C# web builds work better. Yeah, I have some UI changes I want to make. I want to add these little footsteps so that you can kind of see the footsteps, like where Bernard is going to walk based on you clicking, so to provide a little feedback to the player as a result of your click. So I want to do that, and then I want to add like a little sound. I want to add like maybe one music track and then maybe a little ambient audio. I need to do this soon though, because I was talking to Fusionist earlier. I feel like the window to do post jam is the amount of time you have between the one jam and the next jam, and that window is closing very quickly. So I'm a little concerned. So I'm going to try to do some stuff this weekend. Diginanigans, you've chipped off a few more items off the to-do list on your map editor, starting to actually make visual progress on things now. Hell yeah. Yeah, I saw your to-do list. I saw you and Skywalk were like posting your to-do lists, which is pretty cool. You're like markdown to-do lists. I don't have anything like that. I probably should. Shenanigans, you have some placeholder blocks for now, indicating what blocks are currently hovered over and where the next place block will go. You have a bug that is flickering in and out as you're replacing it. Once you get that fixed, you'll post an updated recording in the Discord. Hell yeah, that sounds cool. All right, so mask is not null in this case, which means we just go to this, drop that, get rid of that, and then we're making these all. Well, let's do that first, and then we'll go back and we'll make the contains key swap here. You can post your to-do list. It's a terrifying window into your disorganized mind. Yeah, go for it. I mean, if you want. I'm really not a to-do list person unless I have a hard deadline. So you'll see me do to-do lists sometimes in a game jam. But if I don't have a deadline, I find to-do lists very unhelpful. As a solo dev, working, without deadlines. It's like a lot of caveats. It's like as someone who doesn't need to communicate with anyone and has no deadlines, I don't find to-do lists very helpful. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah, if it ends up that the overlays have largely the same auto-tiling rules as the underlays, I think I will put these blocks of conditionals into like a function. Just so I don't have to maintain them twice in almost entirely the same state. I would rather not do that. But I'll wait until we've actually got the overlays working again. That was like we did our look back. We did our like episode 256 look back. And we had that fun shot where it was like me watching episode 128 and the episode 128 me was watching episode 64. And in episode 64, there was like a little character running around or something like that. Or it wasn't that maybe. Maybe it was like camera rotation. Like I was casually just rotating the camera around and I was like, oh God. We used to have so many features that are just broken currently because I haven't felt like working on them. It's too funny. But yeah, I think we have characters running around in the prototype version of this game in like the first like 10 episodes or something like that. And we haven't gotten back there because we're trying to do all this other stuff. It's funny. All right, there's a function call here that's busted. Oh yeah, here it is. Sapphire continuing, they've only been here for a few days now. Literally all you've seen of this is the one artwork image in gray blocks with weird outlines. Look, don't hold that against me. But no, it's a fair point. We're definitely taking a gamble. Like, everyone is like, you know, why don't you have a gameplay prototype? Why are you spending time on these tools and stuff? And it's like, it is a gamble. We are betting that our flavor of FTL will be fun, which is a bet. It's not, you know, it's not proven. But as a solo dev, I'm trying to tackle the problem in a very particular way. And part of that is front-loading a lot of very particular work. All right, what were we doing before I got distracted? Oh yeah, we were transferring our fix from here, from the X face of the wall to the Y face. Did we do that already? I feel like we did. Let's just double check that. Okay, I think we did. Let's clarify that. The fact that you're still here, that's all you've seen, shows how much you like it here and how much I've hooked you in. I really appreciate that. We try to be a pretty chill co-working environment here. I think I get a little credit for the autotiler. I think people see the autotiler and like they're like, oh, he can at least do a thing. We've at least achieved one thing. Yeah, I'm always surprised anytime anyone decides to stick around. So the fact that, you know, there's more than one of you, pretty cool. Really appreciate it. It is an unpayable debt. But thank you all so much. We're looking good. We're looking good. Okay. Yep. Yeah, okay. I think I fixed the thing I was worried about. I kind of want to transfer this to the floor. Oh, nope. Thought I spotted one there for a second, but that's just me having a hard time distinguishing between incredibly subtle changes in value against what are my fairly bright Elgato spotlights. Make it a little hard to see. I usually turn them off in a long stream. But we're looking good. We're looking good. I don't see any blatant auto-tiling issues. There's one problem that I know about that I want to look at, which is this problem, which is like when I go to draw out a shape like this, you'll notice that there should be that vertical line right in the middle should keep going up through the floor plate above it, and it doesn't. And there's a reason it doesn't, and I'm worried that if I change this, it will have crazy knock-on effects, but I at least want to try. No harm in trying. The autotiler is impressive. It's something. It's something. It's really something. It's becoming a bit of a boondoggle. It's about 1,500 lines of code, which isn't very long. I have a report auditor that's like 10,000 lines of code at work, and it's like... We do need to eventually start splitting parts of this out. Like, I think the cutaway system needs to be its own system. And I feel like we've prepared to do that, but we haven't actually pulled the trigger on it. There's going to be a lot of stuff we do as soon as we stop just doing this for one situation. As soon as we start rendering multiple ships, there's going to be a lot of changes we have to make. Architecturally, we can handle that, but we haven't done it yet because we haven't needed to. Now the time when you change one character and the whole thing breaks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't like having a separate autotiler function here. I'll work on refactoring this later. I don't really care about reorganizing at the moment. So what we're going to attempt to do is we're going to attempt to do the same kind of thing here that we were doing elsewhere. So how does it look like for this? This isn't right, is it? No, that's not right. So this is how we're doing it here. Let's go up here. Look at how we're doing it here. Let's see if this cutaway thing does it for us. It'd be really cool if this just fixes it. All right, let's see if this works and there are no negative consequences. It did not work. But there are no negative consequences, so could be worse. But it did not work, which is unfortunate. I would have expected some behavioral change would have expected anything. Why didn't that work? You were just going to ask if it ever worries me that I changed the code and nothing changed at all. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. Strange. So why wouldn't that have an impact in this situation? The hull type is the same. Contains key check. Should come back. Oh, it's the ore. It's the ore. We're going to do the classic thing, which is just change the ore to an and see what happens. Future bugs in the making, yeah. Usually. Alright, so we broke that thing, but that's okay. Because what I want to do is I want to see what happens when I do this. Okay, so it fixes it in the situation that we want it. Where else? Oh, it breaks it there. Okay, so if we can find a solution to this, we can get what I want here. All right, let's fix this last little bug here. And then I think we're pretty happy with the quote-unquote underlay auto-tiling here. So how do we get this to not occur? How do we get this to not occur in any but exactly the situation we want it to? Oh, I think I know. We removed this from the other case because it didn't do anything. But I think here it's gonna matter. We're gonna try it like this, but not with the X, Y, just Y. I think that would let us leave the ore in place here. Gotta keep yourself employed. It's so funny. I pay myself so much to do this work. Not. Okay, okay. Okay. Not okay. I have a suspicion about this part. Dang, why does that happen only at that point, at that juncture? So the case I want to draw is this case when I'm dragging this plate out here like this. And so what we're interested in, so if we're the X face, we're interested in our positive Y neighbor. Whether our positive Y neighbor is present or not. Oh, shoot. This is tied up with something else, and I think if I fix this, it will truly break the other case. And I think I understand why. I'm still gonna try a few things, but this might not work out here for us. Because I can't have that. I could make an exception, a very particular exception. That's actually not unreasonable. What if I just go back? What if we just go back to the way it was? So that's the way it was. What if we say, I don't think I care about this, but what if we say, what if we say adjacent positive? Actually, we could say hull is equal to hull dot middle. Actually, we could say not equal to. This is like a very particular edge case. Get it? Edge case. And I'm hoping that I can get the exception here that I want. Oh, that kind of doesn't work. I don't understand. Oh, I need to combine it with one more thing. How are we going to celebrate the autotiler being complete? You suggest pancakes? I love pancakes. I go to a little local diner at least once a week to go get pancakes. So don't joke about me. Don't joke about pancakes with me. Okay. So what we want to clarify here is we want to make sure we want to say and not cutaways hull key dot xyz plus vector 3i dot y dot has cutaway dot extends dot full deck. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can cover this exact edge case here. So far, so good. So far, not good. How is that coming back like this? So this is our bit here. We're looking where our X face, we're looking a positive Y down. Oh, dang. Again, once again, that's going to cause a problem over here. Wait. Why is that happening? And not cutaways, hull key dot xyz plus vector 3i dot y. That has cutaway dot extends dot full. This is not true. This statement is coming back false. Hull is not equal to. Maybe this is supposed to be equal to. No, because it's not actually affecting that at all. I've just used structural navigation. I don't want to disable. I'm snoozing the ads, but that does put like a timer on here. You're suggesting that it will be complete. Arneo, you've been here too long to not see it complete. The gambler's fallacy. That's funny. Yeah, just one more stream and the autotiler will be done. This is bugging me, and it's probably going to be a really simple thing. This is annoying because behavior is different than what I'm writing down, it seems like. Oh, so that kind of worked. What about this? Okay, so that kind of worked, but I need to fix it here. So this needs to be and not or all. It's not equal to middle. Okay, I think this will do it. I think we dialed it in here. Looks like you have some weirdness on some corner vertical lines. That is exactly what we're trying to fix. Or specifically, we're trying to fix something else without messing that up. It's the side effects. And I have a side effect right here. I'm already seeing a side effect. It's not good. Yeah, this is a problem because if I fix it in one spot, we're playing whack-a-mole. Because I want to fix a particular thing, which is when I'm dragging shapes out like this, but I don't want to mess it up in other cases, and I'm not able to achieve both at the moment. I could probably do it with some really, really questionable rules, like very specific rules exceptions. So this or is not sufficient here. I want the or here. You're just probably actually being able to spot some of the issues. Yeah, they're there. They are there. I appreciate that. Okay, this does not seem to be fixing anything. Oh, and in fact, this undid the thing that I was interested in fixing in the first place. Yeah, I can't do it. I can fix the thing we want to fix, but not without messing something else up. And it's not worth it. Because the issue I'm running into is actually very specific and limited. All right, this is my last snooze. So I think I gotta wrap it up. I'm just gonna make sure I didn't actually damage anything and that I correctly repaired it. So here, this works pretty much fully exactly as I want it, except in one specific circumstance. Oh, ew, plus whatever. No, that's correct. That's correct behavior. There's a compromise we're having to make to remain consistent under all the cases, and part of that compromise I'm just going to have to live with as far as this. I need to do something about it, though. I need to figure out how to fix this, only this edge case, which is when we have this little tiny jut. You can kind of see it's just jutting out just a little bit. There should be a vertical line down those decks. And there isn't, right in the middle of like where I'm selecting. And all I want to do is add the line to that, but I need to do that without disrupting the logic anywhere else. So I need to very carefully evaluate this situation. But that's cool. I think that's the last rules issue that I'm seeing. So that's good. There's some weird things like this. Like I don't love the... It's part of the compromise is what's going on here. I need to look back at that compromise and see if there's anything we can do about this. But yeah, there's a consistency issue with the half block here. To be consistent with the half cutaway at the base, we have to be consistent as we go up and over as we like do this step. And that means showing a thinner outline than we normally would. And that's where the problem is. Being consistent with that compromise everywhere else is hard. But we'll get there. Otherwise, I'm pretty pleased. We solved every other issue except that one compromise, which I think we need to look more closely at anyway. I don't think that's going to be terribly easy to fix. But I think it's a particular enough circumstance that we will be able to carve out an exception. Just not today, which is fine. There's not a ton to do tomorrow, so we'll probably look into that. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. I know this is a bit of a short one. That's what I say. Sometimes if we don't take off or I'm tired or I've got somewhere to be or something, we keep it a little shorter. And this is going to be one of those days. But this was still fun. I appreciate everyone hanging out here. Just appreciate the crew here. Thanks for stopping by. But we will be on tomorrow. Hopefully we'll do a nice full stream tomorrow. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day here. And I'll see you next time. Bye.